The evening breeze rustled through the tall trees that lined the bank of River Niger, carrying with it the sweet scent of distant rain and the sound of crickets. In the village of Onitsha, nestled between the river's embrace and the sprawling market, lived a man named Shaik, a man whose mind was as sharp as the knife he used to cut his kola nuts. Shaik was a brilliant trader, respected and feared in equal measure. His peers knew him as a man who understood the language of commerce better than most, a man who could spot a good deal from a mile away and negotiate it with the skill of a seasoned veteran. Yet, despite his success, a deep-seated frustration gnawed at him. He yearned for more, much more. He wanted to be more than just a trader. He wanted to own warehouses filled to the brim with exotic goods, fleets of trucks that rumbled like angry gods, and most importantly, he wanted to be called Odogwu, a title reserved for the most successful merchants in the land. A title that spoke of wealth so great it defied imagination. One evening, after losing a huge deal to a fellow trader, one Ebuka, who had somehow managed to secure a monopoly on the supply of a rare and valuable spice, Shaik found himself wandering towards the riverbank. The rhythmic lull of the water crashing into the shore echoed the turmoil in his heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, he saw a lone figure emerge from the darkness. The man was old, dressed in flowing black robes that seemed to absorb the little light there was, and his face was etched with lines that spoke of ages past. Without a word, the old man extended a hand towards Shaik, his fingers long and gnarled like the roots of an ancient tree. "I can give you everything you desire," the old man rasped, his voice like the dry leaves skittering across the pavement. "Wealth beyond your wildest dreams, power that will make men tremble at your feet, and the title of Odogwu that you so covet. All I require is your loyalty to me, and something small." Shaik, blinded by desperation, did not hesitate. He pledged his loyalty and offered his finger in a blood oath, pricking it into a small black calabash. The old man collected the blood and vanished into thin air, leaving behind the faint scent of damp earth and a promise of unimaginable riches. When Shaik woke up the next morning, his world had shifted on its axis. The rickety shelves of his shop were now brimming with exotic goods from distant lands. The dull tools of his trade were replaced with gleaming, ornate ones, and a sense of purpose, almost manic in its intensity, drove him to succeed. Within months, he became the richest trader in the market. His goods sold like wildfire, his profits soared, and soon he was building mansions in Lagos and fleets in Aba. His name was whispered with reverence and envy, and he basked in the glow of his success, believing he had outwitted fate and triumphed against all odds. But the devil's gift is never free. 7 years passed, 7 years of unimaginable wealth and power. And slowly, inexorably, the shadows began to lengthen. His first son fell gravely ill, and despite the best efforts of doctors flown in from Europe, the boy died. His wife, too, lost her sanity, mumbling in the dead of night about strange, dark shadows lurking in the corners of their home. And then the goods in transit began disappearing, vanishing without a trace, leaving behind only rumors and hushed whispers of Ogwu ego sacrifice or wealth. The old man in black returned to Shaik's dreams, his eyes burning like embers in the darkness. "Your time is not yet over, Shaik," he hissed, his voice a chilling echo of the past. "But remember, when the blood is taken, the blood must be paid." Shaik's heart hammered in his chest, understanding dawning on him like the cold light of dawn. The title of Odogwu, the wealth, the power, it had all been a Faustian bargain. In the blink of an eye, tragedy struck, his businesses crumbled, his rivals, sensing weakness, pounced, and soon he was left with nothing but the tattered remnants of his dignity and the haunting echoes of his past. The irony was not lost on him. He had traded his soul for a life of luxury, and in the end, he was left with neither the wealth nor the respect. He who had once commanded the attention of an entire market was now a mere shadow of his former self. ignored and overlooked by the very people he had ruled over. And so, the story of Chaik, the would-be Odogwu, became a cautionary tale, a reminder that some deals, no matter how tempting, are best left undone.